It's time to mash in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following broadcast is your main event with a 60-minute time limit.
American dream. He's just a common man. Working hard with his hands. He's just a common man. He's just a common man. Working hard for
Oh yeah, what's up, everybody? Billy and Merle Show. My good friend Billy is out of town, but he's with us in spirit tonight. As you can see, we can't leave Billy out. We got our good friend Sean, our engineer. What's up, Sean? There he is. You always hear his voice. You never see the face.
Now you do.
Now you do. How you doing?
Doing good.
There you go. So Sean is filling in this week for Billy. Billy's down in Florida with his family for vacation. And speaking of vacation, I'm going on vacation. Actually, I'm going to quite a few vacations this year. I'm going to New York City for my buddy's 40th birthday party, and then I'm going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, on Labor Day. And actually, what I want to talk about is hopefully on my way down, because I've mapped it out, and I think it's only like a few hours from Pigeon Forge, I might stop in eastern Kentucky over in Perry County and visit my good friends who are TikTok famous. Dude, these guys are awesome. Heather and Chris. But she goes... Yeah. But she goes by Mama. And don't make Mama mad. But no, Heather and Chris, they're awesome. They're good, down-to-earth Southern folks, my kind of people. And one thing I like is they got a bunch of cool videos. So her name is Heather, I believe, Heather.Renee. And then you can go on TikTok and find her. But one thing I like about them is every morning she makes him breakfast. It reminds me of my grandparents. Whenever I grew up, my grandma always made me breakfast and stuff like that, and real good Southern food. And they call it the Greasy Spoon Productions, and they get on there and they talk, and they just talk about life and how their day's going and what they got going on. It's real cool. So check out their page. But one thing that I want to talk about that's very serious is down there in Perry County, Kentucky, they had a major flood here a couple weeks ago. And a lot of people lost a lot of things. So here at the Billy and Merle Show, we're always about taking care of people first. So if you can, I want you to donate any extra clothing or anything that you may not use anymore. Donate it down there to Perry County, Kentucky. Call their local authorities. See how you can donate. Help these people out, because I'm telling you, it's just a tough situation, and I personally don't like to see people struggle, so help them out. But shout out to Heather and Chris. You guys do awesome on TikTok, and everybody go subscribe right now and watch them. They're amazing people. All right, so speaking of the trip, we're going down to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for a family reunion. And right now on the phone lines, I have a travel expert, which is also happens to be my sister, Tiffany Perry. Hey, Tiffany, what's going on? Tiffany, are you there? Tiffany, hang up and call the show again, because somehow we've lost you. So anyways, Tiffany is going to be talking about things to do down in Pigeon Forge. And we're going to be talking about all the fun things, attractions, and all the good food we're about to eat. All right, so here we go. Let's see here. Tiffany, are you there? Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to have to. I tell you what, man. Oh, the roadcaster crashed. All right, hang on a minute, Tiffany. I'm going to call you right back, okay? I apologize for this. See what happens whenever Billy isn't here? Everything goes south. All right, so I need to connect to the roadcaster here. Sean, why don't you tell everybody real quick about yourself, your background and everything, while I get this up?
Well, I went to Ohio Media School. I had a radio show on the school's radio station about wrestling. So this is why we're doing a little bit more wrestling theme today.
Yeah.
I produce music, a couple shows here at Audio Bay. I'm vegan. I'm sure you've heard this.
He's vegan, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sure Billy will tell you over and over again. And that's, I have other personality traits. You know what I mean? I'm not just a guy who doesn't eat animal products. I also enjoy wrestling. Those are my two traits. So that's
there you go.
That's all there is to me.
Well, you have a wife.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You have any
I have
kids?
a wife. I have no kids.
No
and
kids.
I never will.
No?
I will not.
All right. Well, hey, to each their own. I got 3, so I can't live without mine. But I mean, I get it. It's total respect. Let's see if I can call Tiffany now. Oh, I think so.
Hello?
Oh, there we are. We have her. All right, Tiffany Perry, the travel expert in the house, also known as my sister. So, Tiffany, we're going down to the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area and Labor Day weekend so that we can have our family reunion. And Tiffany has actually been awesome. She's been like putting everything together, seeing what people like, what they don't like. So, Tiffany, won't you tell them a little bit about the attractions that we're going to be seeing down there and a little bit about it?
So, with the attractions, I am the only person going on this trip that I know of that has never been to Gatlinburg. So, getting the do's and don'ts is really important. So, one of the first things that we're going to do is the Ripley's attraction.
Okay.
And Debbie, your wife.
I have a wife. No, I'm just kidding.
You're the better half of you.
I was going to say my better half.
He actually found a combination pass for $64.99, which includes the aquarium and 2 attractions. So we know we want to do the museum because obviously that's like the main attraction. But they have the Haunted Adventure, the 5D moving theater, a super fun zone, which is indoor, that includes laser tag and mini golf. They have a super fun park. It's outdoors that includes go-karts and blaster boats, which I think would be so fun.
Right.
The mountain coaster and the marvelous mirror maze and mini golf. Now, we're going to do the hillbilly golf, so we probably don't want to pick the mini golf for that
Tell
attraction,
everybody what the hillbilly golf is, because some people are just like a bunch of hillbillies playing golf. What?
Well, that's what it'll be. We're from West Virginia, so that's what it'll be.
Right.
But so you ride the roller coaster up, right? The what they call the mountain coaster. You ride that up to the attraction, and then isn't it on a hillside? I don't know. Debbie found it.
Yeah,
so I think
exactly.
You all know more about it than I do.
Tell everybody what the
So
golf is.
we're gonna do that. So definitely the Ripley's attraction, but we want to hear from you. Like what was your do's and don'ts of the Ripley's attraction? We want to make sure we're getting our money's worth. Another thing that we're going to do while we're down there is the crime museum, and I am a true crime junkie. I'm so excited. They have artifacts belonging to like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Gacy. I heard they're getting ready to put some Murdoch, which if you guys know me, I followed that trial religiously. So they're going to have some of their artifacts in there. One thing that I found out actually recently that I'm really impressed with is they have 9/11 artifacts, and I commend them for that because that's so educational, and
right.
I think that's amazing that they have that. But they also have the getaway cars. They have like Ted Bundy's Volkswagen Beetle. I know one thing you're looking forward to is they have OJ's Bronco.
You're right. Me and
So,
OJ, we go way back. All the way to middle school,
yeah,
or all the
so
way
they
to
do
elementary
have-
school, watching that chase.
Yeah. So, and we're all going to wear
Speaking
shirts.
of that, real quick,
I know
real
I
quick.
have.
Back in the day, when the O.J. Simpson chase happened, it was the most amazing thing ever on TV. But I'll never forget. This was what happened during the O.J. Simpson trial. Whenever they announced if he was going to be guilty, or which we know now not guilty, they brought us all into the cafeteria and sat us down and watched the O.J. Simpson. Grade school, bro. I was like, I don't even remember what grade I was in. But I was like 4th grade or something like that. But they brought us in, and we're all like sitting in the cafeteria on the floor watching the big screen. And they're like, this is history. Let's watch this.
That's very bizarre.
That is, well, it is West Virginia. So, anyways, Tiffany, go ahead with the rest of that information.
So with the Crime Museum, they also have photo ops, so you can do police lineup, mug shots. You can get into a jail cell, and they have the forensic science and how DNA and fingerprinting and facial recognition works.
Yeah.
So it's educational.
Yeah, there you go.
The one thing that I found out recently, they have a lie detector test there.
Oh.
So
Well, there you go. We'll see.
We'll see who
We'll
in our
get my-
family is.
We'll get my kids there, and I'll find out who threw away the dishes.
Yeah, so I'm really interested to see who in our family is going to do the lie detector test.
Probably nobody. No one in our family. Blah blah. Get my
Yeah.
wife met witchcraft.
And then they have Beyond the Lens. So this was one that
I'm looking
I
forward to
thought
this.
was really cool. I thought it was really, really cool. When I first looked into it, I thought it was nothing but photo props. And then I seen the price, and it's $37 a ticket. And I thought, really, $37 to go in there. And I wanted to do that on Saturday. So, we're having the big family dinner, and Ernie picked Shoney's, which was our papa's favorite restaurant. So
Right.
I thought that was fitting. But I thought $37 to go in there and just take pictures. I don't know.
Right.
But once I got to looking into it, they have over 150 interactive exhibits in there.
Nice.
So obviously they have the photo ops, like you can go and stand at the podium at the Pentagon, the Oval Office,
Right.
Jurassic Park. But they have a Bigfoot search in there. You can go hunting for Bigfoot.
Oh, so they'll be finding
Um,
you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Haha. So they have a 2-minute escape rooms, which
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think will be interesting. They have a exhibit there called the 360 flip bumper car.
I have a
Now,
I have a
only
2-minute
see-
I have a 2-minute escape room. It's called when my wife's mad at me, I run.
But I do only see the kids in there on the pictures of the flip bumper cars. So I don't know if it's for adults, but it basically, they strap you in this little ball.
Right.
They pull you up in the air. You can flip upside down and slam into people.
Right.
But I think the most fun that we're going to have is they have a ball pit for kids and adults. And I'm pretty sure that is where we may get kicked out of there.
Yeah, I think so. I think our family will actually get picked out or kicked out of there. All right. Well, so now we got to
Probably
move
so.
on. We got to move on real quick so we can get on to the rest of the show. But real quick, what is the food attractions that we're going to be at? Now, my favorite one is the one where you go in and they have all these little electronic chickens above your head, and they name them after like different celebrities, like Mr. McCluckers or something. But like while you're eating breakfast, they start singing and performing, and they lay little plastic eggs in their thing. That's pretty cool. But what's the other places that we're going to be eating at that people might want to check out if they go down to the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area?
Yes. So what you're talking about is the frizzled chicken.
Yeah, the frizzled chicken. What a
but-
name.
The first place that we're going was actually recommended by our dad. It's called Mel's Diner. It's a retro little diner. Sort of similar to the Waffle House. They have eggs and steak and all kinds of different little burgers and fries there. So he actually recommended that. So that's going to be our first stop on Wednesday evening. We're going to do the Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not
My
the
name
seafood
Forrest
person.
Gump.
But they supposedly have Bubba Gump shoes, and you can stick your feet in them.
You,
So I
you
don't
can.
know.
We've seen those. They're pretty cool.
So 2 more that we're going to do, and they're at the bottom of my list. Reagan's House of Pancakes was one that my husband wanted to do, but my best friend who goes to Gatlinburg a lot said that they were down there a couple of years ago and they could not get in to any pancake house. It wasn't packed, wasn't a holiday weekend.
Well,
We're
you
going
got to
down on a
remember
holiday
people were
weekend.
coming back from COVID, so that's probably why. So, but we
Yeah.
are going down Labor Day weekend, so it's going to be packed as well down there.
We
but
are.
It's all good. And then the last
I'm
one
hoping
is
not.
Dick's Last Resort. And
Yep.
that's where you go in and they're just completely rude to you. And I can't wait to give it back to them. I might even get hired there with some of my jokes. Huh.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what your hat says.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to see what my hat says. All right, Tiffany. Well,
But
thank
yeah,
you so
let
much
us
for
know.
calling in tonight, and thank you for being a guest on my show. And Tiffany, if you don't follow her on Facebook, it's Tiffany Perry. She always has some of the coolest videos with her animals, and then she always has like great tips for travel places. She's always finding great places, so make sure you follow her. Tiffany, thank you so much for calling into the Billy and Merle Show, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was my sister, Tiffany Perry, travel expert. So she has a lot of good ideas, and so, like I said, follow her on Facebook. All right, so here at the Billy and Merle Show, we usually have Billy lead this part, and then I call that person out. But this week, it's going to be the call-out of the week. And this week, I'm going to be calling out Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy is getting on my last nerve. Okay, so as anybody out there that's been golfing, you guys know this. And by the way, if you have an opinion tonight or want to talk about anything, call on the show. And
I did get an opinion. Billy texted in and said that the microphone is covering your face.
Oh,
And
well,
he
that's
would like to see your face. He loves that face.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here, Billy, you like this? You like this, Billy? So, right. I don't have Billy next. Well, I have him next to me, but he can't talk. But no, I'm calling out Rory McIlroy because Rory. A lot of you golfers out there know that LIV is Saudi backed, and there's a lot of controversy about where that money come from and all that. But some of these guys are guaranteed money, and they go over and play in LIV. And Rory is just so much about the PGA and always talking about, oh, if you're not the PGA, you're scum if you go to LIV, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something, folks. Some of these golfers don't need the money, like Phil Mickelson. It just didn't make any sense. Bryson DeChambeau, guys like that. But Brooks Koepka, I mean, at the time, Brooks Koepka was injured, and his career was in question because he had some serious injuries, and he wasn't playing very good golf. And so a lot of these golfers, even, these younger guys who don't really win that much, they're getting like a phone call saying, hey, if you join LIV right now, we're going to give you a guaranteed $30 million contract. Oh, and by the way, unlike the PGA, if you place last, you're still going to get paid. There's no cuts. So let me ask you guys a question out there, seriously. We have people in this business or in this world that if you're working at your job and let's say you're a nurse, and another rival company comes in and says, listen, you're going to have less work and we're going to guarantee you $20 more million than what you're making. You're taking it. You're taking that money. I don't care what anybody says. You can go on there and say, oh, no, I have morals. And when someone looks at you and presents $24 to $30 million guaranteed cash in your pocket, and they have it right in front of you, don't sit there and tell me that you're like, oh, I'm not going to take that money. Yes, you are. So, Rory, First of all, you need to start winning again because you're irrelevant right now. You shot horrible at the Masters. You played terrible. You haven't won in I don't even know how long. It's been probably over a year since you've won. So don't be calling these other guys up. And by the way, it was a great Masters tournament. I mean, I literally, Sunday, you can ask my wife, I sit there and watch the entire day from 8 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. And what's funny is out of the top 5, 3 were LIV golfers. And Phil Mickelson, 52 years old, finished second place. That's the highest anybody's ever finished, a 50 or older. So congrats to Phil. But that's my call out of the week. Rory, just focus on your game instead of the stupid stuff. Yeah, that's right. So, speaking of sports, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs this Saturday, baby. That's right. The Cleveland Cavaliers wrapped up the season with the 4th seed. They're going to be at home this Saturday, starting off the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're going to be taking on the New York Knicks. Now, Sean, if you remember, I talked to Billy about this. The New York Knicks are the team that scares me. They've been playing great basketball lately, and it would be so disappointing if the Cavs finally got to the playoffs without LeBron James, a home court advantage, and then they lost in the first round.
That would be. Who's the star player of the Knicks?
I don't know.
Imagine this, okay? Imagine if this game is going on, right? It's 99-99. It's the 4th quarter. There's 2 minutes left, and then the star player of the Knicks takes his jersey off, and he has a Cavs jersey on under it, and he grabs a chair and he bashes his own teammates over the head, and then helps the Cavs win. Wouldn't that be wild?
Well, yeah, that would be the most wrestling thing that ever happened. See, that's what I love about Sean is he knows how to incorporate wrestling right into there. Hey, we got a caller, and I think I know this caller. My good friend Mike Mallett's all the way out in Florida. What's up, Michael?
Hang on. Oh, we can just call me. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Mike? How you been, buddy?
Oh, pretty good.
That's good. Mike is a loyal listener, Sean. He listens every Tuesday night. He always tunes in. What's that, Sean? Now you're on.
I love him.
There you go. All right, Mike, are you on the road or are you home right now?
No, I'm home right now.
Oh, you're home right now?
Turned on the TV. I was overhearing you,
Oh, yes. See, Mike's even got us on the television, bro. Look at that. He's got us prime time on his TV, not on his phone, not on his laptop. He's got us on prime television. My big ugly face is in his living room right now.
Not a better way to spend a Tuesday night.
There you go. So what's on your mind, Michael?
Too much. I was looking forward to seeing the Cavs play, right?
Oh, yeah.
Playoffs.
Yeah. What do you think? How far do you think the Cavaliers are going to make it this year? How far is the run going to go? Did we lose them?
I think they'll beat the Knicks, and that's about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they'll get past the Knicks. I think it's going to be a very close series, and then I think they get beat in the second round. I personally, Michael, I think J.B. Bickerstaff is just a mediocre coach, but I know that's an unpopular opinion. But I mean, where do you see the Cavs going from here on out? Like from next year on, where do you see him going? And do you think J.B. Bickerstaff will be in the future for long term or short term?
I agree with you. It'll probably be short term.
Right, absolutely. So how's the weather down there in Florida right now?
It's been a little cool.
Yeah, a little cool. It's been real hot up here.
Yeah, about 70. Got about 75 today.
Oh, nice. Well, there you go. Let's see down in Florida. That's cool. Hey, while we got Michael on the phone, Michael is a huge MMA fan, and we've watched Stipe Miocic all of his career.
I was talking about that. I said you got to you gotta get the interview with him before the John Jones fight.
I know. I sent out the email. What's up, Strong Style? What's going on? You guys didn't respond to me. Come on. Let's get Stipe in here. Get him on the phone. So, Michael.
Billy's gotta have contact with him, right?
Yeah, well, we do have contact with him. We just can't get a hold of him. He's been so busy training. He's dead focused on this fight.
I can imagine he is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure he probably is. But
So, me and Michael.
he can
and
take a
what's that?
3 minutes, right? 3 minutes to call in or something like that.
I hope so.
That'll work out, right?
Yeah, I hope so. But me and Michael and brother Matt, we all watched Stipe since the NAAFS days. And we followed him his whole career. So I think Stipe is going to beat John Jones. What do you think, Michael?
I think so.
I do too. I think that.
I think so.
I think. Go ahead.
Probably be his last fight, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's going to retire for sure after this fight, and hopefully it's the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we said it from the beginning when we were watching him at the NAAFS that he was going to be champion someday, right? And
yeah. Yep.
there he is.
All right, there he is,
He
the
made it.
greatest of all time.
Yep.
So how's the family, Michael? Everybody doing good down there?
Oh yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, Michael moved away from us. He moved from cold Northeast Ohio to beautiful sunny Florida, which I can't blame him. Michael's a truck driver. He's the
No,
heart
it's
of
a
America.
A lot easier delivering gas.
Right. And Michael's the
Delivering gas in the warm weather, right?
yeah, it's a lot easier delivering gas in warm weather than it is trying to get through 16 inches of snow. But Michael is the heart of America. He's the heart and soul of America. He's a truck driver. He's blue collared, and I love it.
You're the hero, Mike.
He is. He gets us our gas, and seriously.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, true. Seriously, like you're the heart of America. Like truck drivers do not get, they don't get the recognition they deserve. They get up they drive all hours of the night. They put up with us cutting in and out of them. They put up with us brake checking them, stuff like that. But no, like these guys make sure that they get our product to and from where it needs to be. And they make sure we have what we need, and we appreciate our truck drivers out there very much. Well, hey, Michael, thanks for calling in the show. Michael's our loyal listener. Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem. I still think.
Oh, sorry, Michael, it cut off. But Michael is awesome. So I have a good friend, Matt, and that's his brother, and we've all hung out over the last 15 years, something like that, and he's a good guy. And you heard, he's just down to earth and loves sports, and he loves America. Yeah, he loves America. So anyways, as I was saying, though, the Cavaliers are in the playoffs, and we wish them the best of luck. I just don't see J.B. Bickerstaff being here in Cleveland very long. I don't think he's the coach. But I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Hope the Cavs go all the way, baby. But anyways, speaking of sports, let's quickly go over to our Cleveland Guardians. I got this new Guardians shirt. Yes, I have finally accepted the name Guardians. I couldn't believe it. I was one of those people who were like, they'll always be the Indians to me. But I was always like, I'll never call them anything else. But they're the Cleveland Guardians, but they got their butts kicked tonight. It was so bad.
What was the final score?
Well, we were up 2-0 at the end of the first inning, and I don't want to say, no, I'm just kidding. We lost 11-2. We got murdered tonight.
Yeah, that's murder.
Yeah, that's not even fair, New York. You guys got a bigger payroll than us. Shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's get into what we like to talk about. Me and Sean, every time I come in before the show, we like to talk about wrestling because, that's just one of our hobbies. And put the camera on yourself real quick. Look at this shirt that he's wearing. So this isn't that's not an official wrestling shirt, but that is Brian Pillman. God rest his soul. One of the best entertainers of all time, in my opinion.
Word.
I love that guy. Word. But anyways, so Sean, let's get right into it. First of all, the reason I brought this belt on because I knew we were going to be talking wrestling, but I got this thing at a it's kind of like I can't even think of the name of the place now. My wife found it. It's called like the Bomb Squad or something like that. But anyways, it's just a bunch of different vendors. They have a bunch of antiques, and we like just to walk around. That's our thing. We like to go around, walk around, look at the antiques. And I stumble upon this beauty, and I'm like, oh, that thing's cool. And then the guy goes, well, do you know the story behind it? And I'm like, well, no, it's not mine. So he's like, well, this belt right here, and I've already known this because this belt right here, I didn't know this part, but this belt belonged to Hulk Hogan in the movie No Holds Barred. And I already knew the story that Hulk Hogan used to sweat more than any other wrestler. And so when Hulk Hogan used to sweat really bad, he would ruin the gold. So they made these replica belts for Hulk Hogan to wear in the movie, like during different scenes and stuff. And so this was wore by him, and it's pretty cool. It's the old school WWF champion, which I love this logo. I wish the WWE would go back to this logo. This is the coolest logo for a championship belt ever.
And the belt is also much better.
Oh,
it
look
looks
at that.
it just looks like a billboard on their waist now.
Well, exactly. It looks cheap. The belts just look cheaply made, but look at this thing. And you can't see it here, but like there's it, like where it used to be cream before they painted it white. It's worn out here. But yeah, Hulk Hogan wore this belt in the movie No Holds Barred. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Here, Billy, you want to be the champion? Anyways, but like I just thought that was so cool. So the guy sold it to me for only $100. Whenever his counterpartner was like, man, that's worth so much more money. And the guy's like, I just want to get rid of it. And now he's got another belt that I'm going to go buy here in a few weeks. It's worn by The Rock. And I'm like, dude, I got to get my hands on that. And his buddy's like, well, that thing's worth $600. And he goes, no, I'll give it to you for $100. I won it out of my living room. So I'm going to go buy that belt for $100. I'm going to have one worn by Hulk Hogan and one worn by The Rock.
That's a sweet collection.
That is. And I have a man cave, so this is going to go back in my man cave and hang out. But one thing I love is a lot of people who know me, my son Keith is autistic. He loves wrestling. We're actually going down next Friday to SmackDown in Columbus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to go on the 27th. We're hoping that the draft is during that day. I hope that they announce that the draft's going to be on 20th. That'd be cool.
That would be.
But Keith likes wrestling, so I let him hit me in the head with the belt. He can't hit that hard, but I let him hit me in the head with the belt the other day and let him pin me for the championship. And, dude, he held that thing up. It was like, cheer, woo. That was like the coolest thing in the world to watch him like have fun like that. Oh, yeah. I love my kids, man. We're taking my daughter down. My oldest has to work, but my daughter loves. She's excited. Dude, that little girl is so lucky. She's going to wrestling next Friday night. Then she's going to Washington, D.C. for the 8th grade trip, which they also go to like Gettysburg and all that other stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah, and then we're taking them to New York and then Pigeon Forge. She's going to have the best summer of her life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but my kids are awesome. They do good in school and they deserve the world. So,
I think if you really love them, what you would do is you would bring them on the show and let them hit you with the belt.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, hey, if you want to hit Daddy in the head with the belt on the show live, I'll bring you out here and let you do it. But thanks. Now you gave them a good idea.
You heard it here first, folks.
All right. I'll let them do that. Hey. But, hey, we got 216-435-5249, extension 713. It's the Billy and Merle Show with Sean, the engineer. He's filling in tonight. Look at that look, man. He looks like a wrestler. See? But he's a big-time wrestling fan, and that's what we're talking about right now. So let's talk about AEW first.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because they just had some big news. You know it better than I do. You could probably word it better than I do. What's the big announcement for AEW?
So they're doing so just for context, AEW started from the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega, but mostly the Young Bucks and Cody, doing basically like an independent wrestling WrestleMania called All In.
Yeah.
Because Dave Meltzer, who's like a big wrestling journalist, said that they couldn't sell out a 10,000 seat arena. And they sold it out in 30 minutes. So this is going to be all in 2 at Wembley Stadium in England.
How many does that hold?
Like 80,000 people.
80,000.
Yeah.
This is going to be like WrestleMania.
It will be like, I mean, if they sell it out.
If
That's
they
the thing.
sell it out.
That's what's, because, you know, you could doubt them.
Right.
But last time we did that, they sold it out in half an hour.
Well,
The
Dave-
first AEW pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, sold out in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer, I don't like that guy. He's wrong about a lot of stuff.
I love old Uncle Dave.
Well, I think a lot of people like him because he's kind of like a heel in the wrestling writers world.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't see him as a heel. I see
What-
him as a babyface.
But you see, that's the key. Is like, let's go way back since we was talking about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, whenever he turned heel, that was the greatest heel turn in the history of wrestling.
No doubt.
And so it took all the way up until like 2 days before the pay-per-view for Hogan to agree. Hogan had control, creative control. No other wrestler had that. He had complete. He said, if he said no, I'm not losing the belt tonight. I'm winning. He won, and it took all the way up till 2 days because if Hogan wasn't going to be the guy, it was going to be Sting. Sting was going to turn heel. That would have never worked. Sting is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
He can't be. I mean, he could be a heel, I guess. Maybe back then a little bit, but people love Sting.
Oh yeah, and even whenever he was a heel in TNA, it really didn't work out that well.
Yeah, especially when he was like the Joker.
Yeah,
that was a little odd.
Yeah, it was a little odd. And to me, like looking back, if Sting would have been the NWO, it would have never worked. It would have been dead in the water.
I agree.
So
100%.
so finally Hogan's like, yeah, let's do it. And Hogan turned his back on WCW and joined the NWO, and that was the greatest faction of all time. And I love DX. I love what they did, but there'll never be a greater faction than the New World Order.
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't even a WCW fan. I was a WWF fan.
Yeah.
And I wish that it was the other way around because I missed out on the NWO, and DX kind of sucks compared to the NWO.
Well, yeah, I agree. And here's the thing is like, I was a WCW guy and a WWF guy back in the day. It was WWF. But whenever I tuned in and I saw Scott Hall go on WCW, and they played it perfect because the angle was, hey, WWE is invading WCW and taking over. I was glued. I was glued to the television, dude. I couldn't believe it.
So like, since I was a WWF fan, I didn't watch WCW. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I would see like because I was like 8, so I would see other kids in school and their toys, and that's how I would know what WCW guys look like. So I'd be
Right,
like, oh,
yeah.
isn't that Stone Cold, but with like a hairy chest? And it turns out, no, that's Goldberg. And then I'd be like, oh, isn't that Kane? And they'd be like, no, this is Sting. But because of being a WWF guy, when WCW went out of business, all of what I was ended up knowing about WCW was from WWF documentaries, and
Yeah.
it was all like, you know, history is told by the winner, right? So like
Right.
WWF would be like, oh, when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash went over to WCW, the only reason people even watched it is because they thought that it was the WWF guys invading. Other than that, WCW was really not good. And then as a kid, I was like, I guess I didn't miss out on WCW because
Right.
it sucked. But it turns out that was just lies.
Right. Well, WCW, Eric Bischoff really screwed up whenever he started letting anybody and everybody in the NWO.
Plus, I mean, Nash and
Yeah.
Hall and Hogan all had it in their contracts till whenever the WCW signed somebody, whatever they got, if they got paid more than Hogan, Nash, and Hall, then their pay went up to match whatever it
Yeah.
was.
So they were like, you're not coming in here and you're not making any more money than us. Which, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense whenever you took WCW from the ground up, because WCW was still freshly new to a lot of people. And it still was piss poor quality wrestling. I mean, the storylines weren't there. The wrestling was good, but the storylines weren't there. And whenever the NWO or the Outsider, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash took over, that really resurrected WCW to where it was up until the end. But I feel like that it tailored off once they started letting anybody and everybody. Then they created the Wolfpack, which is the Wolfpack. My stepbrother Brian, God rest his soul, he loved the Wolfpack, dude. I mean, he passed away whenever I was like 19. I actually have, my dad gave me one of his shirts. It was a big sexy Kevin Nash, the Wolfpack shirt. I still have it. I got it put up.
That's a sweet shirt.
Yeah, that is. And it was awesome. But he loved it, dude. We loved going to wrestling. We loved having a good time. But like those were the good days. And where, like I said, the Bischoff letting anybody and everybody in WCW, and then letting Vince Russo ride a little bit.
Yeah, him going there is what I was going to bring up too. It was part of the downfall.
Dude, it drives me nuts whenever Vince Russo criticizes anything wrestling.
I know, it's like, come on, bro.
Right, come on, bro. Yeah, his little, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Little New York accent.
And unibrow.
Yeah.
I can hear the unibrow through the podcast if I ever hear him.
The unibrow. But no, dude, like seriously, like Vince Russo criticizes like, oh, the WWE. And even if he is right, he should never be talking about anybody being a horrible writer. Because he ruined not only WCW, he even had a chance in WWF and he ruined it. And he ruined it in TNA.
Right.
Everywhere the guys went, he's just had crap writing.
It's always like a, you know, well, then they have like Buff Bagwell's mom on a pole match.
Yeah.
And you win by like going up, climbing up and getting Buff Bagwell's mom.
Yeah. They had Buff Bagwell's mom tied to a pole, and the winner was the one who went up and got her. The battle for Buffalo. I'm like, dude, who does that? Like, that's not even entertaining.
If you were not a wrestling fan and you were flipping through and you were like, would you stop on that or what? Because that's
maybe for
Vince
a
Russo's
second.
idea is, you know, oh, it's just to, you know, it's like get people to want to
well,
watch.
if I saw a wrestling ring and I saw, like right here, we have a wrestling ring in the background. If I saw a pole right here going up, and there's this old middle-aged lady standing there, and two guys are fighting to get to her.
It's a dream come true.
I would probably, there you go. I would probably stop just for a second if I was a wrestling fan, but then right away I'd be like, this is stupid. Like, this is what wrestling is? Yeah.
Right,
No
right.
wonder people don't watch it.
I'd
No
be like,
wonder,
oh, yeah, right.
right.
It's
So
trashy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like Jerry Springer, but with spandex.
Right. Oh, my God, that's a good point. But, yeah, getting back to the writing, and then where they really messed up, and I'm so thankful I didn't see this because I always used to flip back and forth, was the night whenever Mick Foley won the WWE Championship, and Tony Schiavone was like, oh, well, if you want to tune in, we'll just save you the break. Mick Foley is the world champion. And immediately, because, you know, Raw was taped, immediately everybody switched the channel and watched that, and that was the last time WCW ever beat WWE in the Monday Night Wars.
The first time I ever watched wrestling was when Mankind was champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's my first, like, you know, a lot of people's like, oh, the first champion I ever saw is Hulk Hogan. So when like a little guy or like a not normal big monster muscular guy is champion, it's weird to
Right.
them. The first champion I ever saw was a slob.
Yeah.
When I saw him for the first time, I thought his character was that he was like a disgruntled office worker and that he went like crazy and was
Right.
like a murderer.
Well, Mick Foley is definitely a Hall of Famer, and
One of the greatest of all time.
oh yeah, one of the top 5 in my opinion. But I can't believe that WCW did that, because that's like saying, "Hey, go watch," and everybody watched, and it was such a great story how they put it on that everybody's like, "The hell with WCW!
Right.
Look at this great
And-
storyline.
and-
We were going to follow this, and it
yeah.
just ruined it."
And Schiavone said, that'll put a lot of butts in seats.
Yeah, and it did. It ended up putting WCW out of business, and Vince McMahon bought them. So, yeah. Speaking though of WWE, let's go to modern day WWE. Let's focus now. Dude, there's a lot of people that are upset over Cody Rhodes not winning at WrestleMania, but I get it. Like, Roman Reigns has been the champion and it's been over 900 days. I get it why they didn't have him win, because, you know, you can't just have a guy who, well, I came back, I got injured, then I won the Royal Rumble, now I'm in the main event, and I'm going to win the championship. that would have literally just took everything they worked for over those 900 plus days and just threw it in the garbage. So I like that. What I don't like is the whole Brock Lesnar theme. And they're saying, well, Brock's mad because he had to go out and fight the first match of the night. That's the stupidest storyline I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that is. It's like you're so mad and you decided to take it. It kind of just makes Brock Lesnar look like an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would be mad if I was Brock Lesnar. I would be like, dude, why are you making my character to where I'm a salty 50-year-old man upset because I had the first match of the night against Omos?
Right, like you're not going home to Sable tonight.
Right, exactly. Dude, going home to Sable and he's all mad because he had to wrestle the first. I mean, that's just stupid writing. And there is rumors now that Vince McMahon is back in control and he changed a lot of things on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, last week. But I didn't watch Raw this week, but I've heard it was better.
Yeah, Raw was better, and a lot of people are like, did Vince not write this week? But they're trying to cover their own ass. They're trying to say, that Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes thing was written all along. I don't know if I believe that or not.
I feel like the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns thing, I feel like it's perfectly fine. I like New Japan and AEW more.
Absolutely.
And Ring of Honor more. And the Kenny Omega, there's a trilogy of matches between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada.
Right.
Kenny Omega didn't win the first one, and he had to fight in the G1 just to get the title shot in the first place.
Right.
Which is much more impressive than Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
Right.
It's a tournament where you're fighting the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And then, that storyline lasted a very long time too. It's like Cody could lose, then lose it. I want him to lose again at SummerSlam, and then win at next year's WrestleMania when they're in Philly because he's the American Nightmare, and the Liberty Bell's there and all that crap. It's perfect for the American Nightmare.
But here's my thing: do you think that the wrestling fans will wait that long? Will it mean something? Because we're in an era right now. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to wait that long. I mean, to be honest with you, that personally,
I understand.
I don't want to see Roman Reigns take it all the way to WrestleMania because I feel like if he takes it all the way to WrestleMania, it's just so predictable at that point too. But
but you definitely thought he was going to win at this past WrestleMania. So wouldn't that have been predictable?
It's
true. Okay to be predictable sometimes.
That's true.
It's just logic.
Yeah, true. But the new age of wrestling fans, do they have the patience to wait this out?
Do you? You have ADHD.
I have ADHD, and I can't even stand it right now. Personally, no, not for me. I don't want to wait that long. I think SummerSlam or even another pay-per-view would be even overseas, Saudi Arabia or something. But
if it was in Saudi Arabia, I would be very upset.
Well, that would be... You have a good point there. The American Nightmare wins the heavyweight title.
That would be
in Saudi Arabia.
American Nightmare would be a very apt name then, I suppose.
Right. Why don't we just call it WWE and be like, we got it from here? Right.
Well, do they have? Maybe they'll call in.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would be amazing if they just called in right now. It's like, hey, who the hell do you think you are? But no, I agree. It looks like it's possibly going to be Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania again. But
we saw The Rock and John Cena 2 years in a row as the main event, and it sold out.
True.
They sold more pay-per-view buys the second time than they did the first time.
That's true. But another thing I could see happening, and a lot of people say it's too predictable, but once again, sometimes predictable isn't that bad. I could see Cody Rhodes winning Money in the Bank, somehow Seth Rollins getting in a tournament fighting Roman Reigns, and they build this hype up, Roman versus Seth Rollins, and then right before the match, you hear Cody's music hit. Here comes Cody, and he's like, I'm no wimp. I don't attack from behind. Let's make this a triple threat match. And then he pins Roman to win the title. And then Seth Rollins says, well, you didn't pin me, bro. And now it starts a whole new rival again with Seth Rollins.
It would be hilarious, though, if Cody won the Rumble and then, won the Money in the Bank, cashed it in before the match like a good baby face, not afterwards, and said, I want to make this a triple threat, and then lost.
Yeah. and then goes on to win the Rumble,
Yeah,
and then
that
gets
would be
back
great.
in it.
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be cool,
I mean,
too.
dude, those are cool things. I mean, those are truly things that can happen with the WWE. I mean, anything and everything can happen there. You never know. You never know.
All of these ideas are better than what they're probably going to end up doing anyways.
Right. Yeah, they probably be like, oh, those are great ideas. Let's not use those.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. I do have to say this. I feel like even though WWE has the capital and they can spend more money than AEW and they can put more asses in the seats, I do think as far as wrestling goes, whenever it comes to pay-per-views, the AEW blows the WWE out of water. But the WWE actually stepped up and had a great WrestleMania.
WrestleMania was very good.
Oh, it's probably the best WrestleMania I've seen in 15 years.
I don't like WWE.
Okay.
I don't watch
Right.
it. I think it sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
even though
an
I
AEW
understand
guy.
Triple H has been making it better, it doesn't matter to me. It's too,
Right.
they have like LED screens on the turnbuckle posts, LED
Yeah.
screens on the barricades, LED
Right.
screens. It's just it doesn't look like a fight. And like I know it's not. I understand wrestling is not real,
Right.
but it's
But you want it to
clearly
be.
not real when you
Damn it.
watch WWE.
It's still
and then
real to me, damn it.
And they cut like to another angle every like blink of an eye.
Yeah.
and it takes me out of it.
Right.
But
I hear you.
That being said, I really, really enjoyed WrestleMania. So
Yeah,
it was a surprise
I think
to me.
it was great, and I rated it out of 10. I rated 9.5. The only two matches I didn't like, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're sexist," but I didn't like the women's showcase.
I don't think that it's sexist. I think it would be sexist if you were like, I don't want women to even wrestle.
Right.
But the matches not being
like
the
the
best
other
on the
ones.
show doesn't mean that you don't like women's wrestling at all.
I like the other women's matches. I thought Bianca Belair and Asuka was a great match. I thought Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley absolutely killed it. If it wasn't for the storyline of the build up with the with the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, that would have been the main event that night. And
For
that
sure.
That would have been well worth it. But I tell you what, that showcase match and then the John Cena match just kind of bored me. It was just like typical John Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Knocked out the ref. Oh, got low blowed. I lost.
For sure. That was a
Oh, now I'm the
disappointment of a
man.
match.
And Austin Theory, now I'm the man.
Like I said, I don't watch WWE. I was like, well, let's check out WrestleMania, I put
Yeah.
it on, and I see the John Cena, because it was the first match of night one.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I don't have to see the rest of this WrestleMania. I'll come back for the tag title match later in the night. I didn't watch the rest of the first night at all.
But man, that was the best night though. Besides
That's
the
what I
John
hear.
Cena match,
But
that
the
was
second
best
night was
night.
good too, because I even
Did
liked
you
it.
did you go back and watch it yet?
Nope.
Go back and watch the first night.
Okay. What other
Get
matches
past the
did they
scene.
got on there?
Oh man, I'd have to look now, but all the matches were great. And I tell you, one match that really got me was the Gunther. And,
Oh, yeah. That was night two.
Sheamus, night two. Sheamus, Gunther, and what's his name? Big guy.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. That was a hell of a match.
That
dude.
was, man.
And you didn't know who was gonna win that.
Big meaty men slapping meat. Hold on. Let me say that again. Hold on.
Oh, watch this.
Big meaty men.
Oh my God! Now that you say it that way, Jesus. But
Should I have bleeped that out?
No, that's okay. But I tell you what, man, that was a great match, and you didn't know who was going to win. But I think they're going to give Sheamus the push to beat Gunther finally, probably at SummerSlam.
I was never particularly impressed with Sheamus as a wrestler
Yeah.
until that match. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, dude. I mean, I always thought he was all right.
Right, he was all right, but it
Yeah.
was his best match. But he's probably almost retired. But that's the only belt he's never won.
Which
And
is pretty wild.
Yeah, I know.
That he's been there that long, never held the IC title.
Yeah, exactly. But they know the fans are feeding off of that now. The fans were going absolutely nuts because they
were.
thought that he was going to win, especially there at the end. And I thought he was going to win. So I think they're going to build that up. They're going to let him win the belt, and then he'll probably lose it later on, and then he'll ride off into the sunset. But, dude, it was a great WrestleMania. Last night, Monday Night Raw was awesome. I thought it was pretty cool. Trish Stratus turning heel. I called it. I told my wife, I was like, she's going to turn heel.
Really?
Yep,
You knew that?
I could tell because you're attacked from behind. Nobody know. No, I don't know what happened. I wasn't here. And then she loses the belt. She loses the tag titles, which dude,
Yeah.
that's a great tag
And they
team.
did the Freebird rule since they're in a trio.
Yeah,
Or whatever,
yeah.
a faction, what do they call it?
Right. And so I knew right away. I was like, she's going to turn. I thought she was going to turn during the match, but I mean, it is what it is. But it was pretty good, and I am looking forward next week to going to SmackDown Live. I haven't been to a WWE live event, and probably the last time I went, I took my little girl, Love, and she's 13 now, and I think she was like 9. So I haven't been in like 4 years, dude.
Wow.
So it's going to be exciting.
Last time I went to a WWE show was, let's see, Dean Ambrose was and AJ Styles were like feuding for the WWE
Wow.
title. Yeah. So
Wow.
it was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone to every AEW show.
Oh, okay.
That's in
That
Cleveland.
comes here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
I was
that
like,
would be
damn,
insane.
dude,
Yeah.
you're pretty good.
I'm a ring rat, dude.
He's following. He's just traveling all over.
And then I go to AIW shows, the local promotion here. My buddy's a referee there.
Oh, what's it called?
Absolute Intense Wrestling.
Okay, and where can we
AIW.
find them?
You can find them at AIW, and then the W is wrestling.
Right.
So like AI Wrestling on
AI
YouTube,
Wrestling.
Instagram, all that.
I love
They're the
independent
big
shows.
local promotion here. Brian Danielson, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano used to be
Yeah.
the trainer there.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of like famous wrestlers wrestle there.
Yeah, and that's awesome because I love watching the local shows. I think it's fun because you do find some talent there, and you're like, wonder if that guy will ever make it. And like whenever you do see him make it, you're like, holy shit, I was there. I watched that.
For sure. I went to a show that Eddie Kingston. It was at the Brook Park Recreation Center. Eddie Kingston
Oh,
was
wow.
there. A couple of months later, he was in AEW.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so cool whenever you're like, oh, I saw that guy. That's awesome.
Nick Gage was there.
Oh, wow.
He had a very violent match, obviously.
Yeah. Nick Gage is crazy man. All right, well, dude, tonight flew by fast, and we missed our good friend Billy, who's all the way out in Florida, but we put him up on the screen because it wouldn't be a show without that beautiful face and those long blonde dreadlocks.
They're not dreadlocks. They're just
I know.
locks.
It just locks. No, but speaking of that real quick before we go off the air, May the 30th, Billy, as you know, Billy Morris, formerly of Warrant, he got the blessing from Janie Lane, rest in peace, Janie Lane's family to do tributes to Janie Lane, the former singer of Warrant.
That would be really, really nice.
Yes, and so May 30th, they got the band Tough all the way from Los Angeles, California. Which
Love
also,
Tough.
Yeah, me too, which features Todd Chason from Smokin' Rock and Roll. And, dude, if you guys are in Northeast Ohio or you're ever traveling up here, check out Smokin' Rock and Roll Barbecue. It's the best freaking smoked barbecue in all of Northeast Ohio.
As a vegan, I'll tell you, it smells good.
Yeah, see, even a vegan thinks it smells good, so that's saying something. But we're live here at Audio Based Studios, and we like to promote anything that anybody does here. And Billy is going to be paying tribute to Janie Lane on May 30th, I believe, at the local in Strongsville. And we're going to have Tough opening up, and then we're also going to have Bobby Brown from Cherry Pie Video.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I believe both of Janie Lane's daughters will be there, and I believe Janie Lane's brother will be there. So it's going to be a kick-ass show.
Definitely.
And I think tickets are only like $19.85 or 89 cents.
Oh, yeah, I did hear him saying that.
'Cause
I
it's
think it's
like
1989, yeah.
1989,
Yeah.
but for the year that they debuted or whatever. But it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great time. And I look forward to seeing my good friend Stevie Rochelle. I got to go on tour with Tough, and me and Stevie became great friends. And it was great. Dude, I won't mention the guy's name on the air, but one time they tell me, yeah, Merle, you can go with us, even though we already got another guy, because this guy wanted to go so bad. He wanted to go so bad. He's like, I'll drive. I'll split the driving with Merle. I drove the band all the way to Illinois and all the way back.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody had to get him back here, but the dude slept. The dude's like, I'm so tired. And then he gets in the back of the van and he's playing video games on his phone. And we're like, we thought you were tired, bro. And Billy's like, never again. And so that was, but I won't call the guy's name out. I like the guy. But that was a funny moment, being on tour with Tough. But other than that, Audio Based Studios, if you want to do something like this, you can have your own podcast show. Reach out to myself or Billy Morris or anybody at Audio Base Studios. Also, if you want to record your band here, we have a live recording session in the back. Whenever you can find an engineer and book it. You can even be the engineer and book it yourself. But it's awesome. It's a state-of-the-art studio in the back, and you can book a lot of bands or read audio books or whatever you want. And then, also Smoking Rock and Roll, they need drivers and cooks and all that good stuff. It's a great atmosphere. As you can see, we have fun here every week. But other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Now, I won't be here next week. I have some umpire obligations I have to be at, so I don't know if Billy will be doing the show or not, or if we're just going to have a night off. Well, I'll let you guys know. But sorry about that. I just had some prior obligations that I have to take care of. But if not, Sean, you get a night off next week.
Whoa.
He gets to stay home and study his wrestling.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to bring out the old wrestling books, open them up, and just study.
There you go. Just study. Just read the old wrestling match. Dude, you know what's funny is whenever I was a kid, I used to love that.
Oh, I went to the Cleveland Public Library
all the time.
Got every documentary, or not a documentary, but every biography of wrestlers. I'd be like, "Whoa, Undertaker's name isn't really the Undertaker."
Right. Oh, wait a minute. The Undertaker and Kane aren't really brothers?
Right.
What?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that was cool. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Billy and Merle Show. We're going to try to be going on TikTok here soon. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week and week in and week out. If I didn't get to you tonight, I do apologize. And also, because I had my phone up taking phone calls, I wasn't able to get on Facebook, so I wasn't able to see your comments. So I do apologize on there. But if we're not here next week, we'll see you the following Tuesday here at the Billy and Merle Show. You guys be safe. God bless, and have a great night.
And I love you, and I wish you the best.
Adieu.